didn't work out, and for them to be able to implement it. And I've had the pleasure of sitting in some of those classrooms as a parent. It is a long day for staff, students, and parents, and it takes that partnership from all of us to make this work. And a special thank you to all our staff members for going above and beyond to make it work. Gratitude.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Right, and then student activity, the negotiations. Mr. Jeffrey Wu.
I don't believe we have a report at this time.
Okay, then student activities, field trips, Miss Rebecca Lee.
There's no report at this time.
Okay. And then for policy committee, Mr. Timothy Yang.
There's no report at this time.
Okay. And food services, Miss Eun-min.
Yeah, there is no report time.
Okay. For calendar committee, Miss Eun-min.
Yeah, there is no report at this time.
All right.
Just that, can I ask on that? Really, I know we have snow days built into the calendar, but on those days where we feel that maybe we cannot go in, maybe we can just continue the remote. This way, we really don't need snow days built in. So maybe we can look at that and decide beforehand, and we'll just let everyone know today will be a remote learning, period.
That's actually topic of discussion currently in Trenton with the Department of Education. They are considering that to be permissible. The use of snow days could potentially be, used by way of remote instruction. Until we have that, green lighted, we cannot go forward. But 100%, we are proving that remote instruction, although very cumbersome, and the workload is, of course, much complicated versus the in-person. It is proving to be effective. Remote learning and instruction this year is much better. Attendance data in all of our districts is above the 90 percentile of students currently in class. And that's a testament to a lot of concerted efforts, really, especially, again, the hard work behind the scenes, the Chromebooks, the hotspots, the delivery, the implementation of instruction, the constant contact with families, really just people going above and beyond the scope of the normal workday.
All right, and then we're going to go into a close.
I don't think closed.
You don't know?
No.
You don't have any matter. Okay. All right, then any old business? New business? Okay, then we'll go into audience participation. Can someone make a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right.
Please be mindful of the 3-minute per participant policy 9322. And if you are to speak, I would please ask that you just state your name and address for the record.
Kathy Doheny, PPA co-president. I would just like to reiterate some of the things that our board members have said. First, I would like to say that it has been my pleasure to work with Tony Bongard over the last few years. We want to thank her for her leadership. She's always been a fair and well-respected administrator, and we certainly wish her well in retirement. She will be sorely missed. And as far as our teachers, I go into many different classrooms at Lindbergh School, and I can't even tell you the countless hours that these teachers spend planning, and their creativity is amazing, what they have done for our students. And I have to say, I applaud every one of them. I just want everybody to know how hard they're working. Everyone in the district, that means administrators, custodians, secretaries, everybody is working over and above.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely agree. Thank you.
Yeah, hi. My name is Lee Musler. I'm a teacher at the high school, and I'm involved with the contract negotiations for the Palisades Park Education Association. And I know that Ben mentioned how there's a fact-finding hearing for the a contract in October, but I want it to be known there was supposed to be a meeting with the board, our negotiations team, and the state assigned fact finder this past Monday. It was confirmed on September 1st. Okay, literally got like any subsequent emails that were sent. There was no response from the board. I personally last Monday, sent emails to some of the board members. I got no response. Finally,
Negotiations committee, Lee, or the whole board?
I sent it to you, I sent it to the president, and I sent it to Jeffrey Wu.
Right, and I have to recuse myself for obvious reasons, that's
So-
why I'm not, but I
So-
think negotiations committee takes care of that.
So in that email, I was trying to find out what is happening. I didn't know if the whole board was aware of what was happening.
No.
So finally on Wednesday, we find out that the board can't meet on the 21st. They want to meet on the 28th, and they want to do it in person.
Again, that's
Now-
negotiations committee, correct?
Dr.
So-
Vanderbilt, can you just let him finish, please?
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so please keep in mind that this meeting involves the state fact finder. He's very busy. It's not like he can just change things around and stuff. And it's been a constant theme with the board that I see no respect towards our education association and the process for negotiating a contract. It started in August of 2018, so we are going back over 2 years ago. I sent an email to the board lawyer. I said, listen, our contract is ending this year. Let's start to talk. He said he would send some dates. Then that board lawyer left. There was a new lawyer in November of 2018, so it's been 3 months at this point. I have received no answers to any of my emails, and I was told the board would not negotiate until they reorganized in the new year. I was asked to give a list of dates. In February of 2019, I'm asked, why don't we start talking about some dates? I literally wrote an email that said, I sent you a list 2 months ago. We finally met in March and May of 2019. We then, both sides said we should go to mediation. In June, we were offered dates for August, but that lawyer was leaving, so we had to wait. So we then had a mediation meeting in September, and we had one in November. And just like every other meeting, it was a waste of time.
Mr. Musler, I don't want to be rude or inconsiderate, but please be mindful and try to summarize here your final
Yep.
thought.
All right, so we're heading to fact finding now, okay? At this point, I want it to be known, 2 towns around us have settled in a virtual fashion. One is New Milford, one is Ridgefield. Every town surrounding our district has settled a deal in like the past year. Trying to set a date and time, even with our board, has been impossible. The only reason we are meeting on October 26th is because the state assigned fact finder said, listen, this is when and how we will meet, all right, because he has that authority. So I'm hopeful that hopefully both sides will show up and we will have a productive hearing.
Oh, yes, I got your email and I replied to you on September 14th that we're going to have a meeting on 26th. I have it here, so, I could thank you. I said, I checked with Mr. Ben Choi, and it is scheduled to meet on October 26th. So it is not that like we ignored your, we're also making the progress and then try to meet on October 26th. So we will be really humbly appreciative and diligent work, okay? I promise
Well,
that.
one, I never received an email from you, and I was referring to the meeting that was supposed to take place this past Monday, when 5 days prior to that, all of a sudden, we finally hear from the board after 15 days of not hearing anything that they can't make it on the 21st, and they'll only do the 28th, and it has to be in person. Like, there's constantly excuses not to meet, rather than all of us saying, let's find a way to meet.
Sure, so we're going to meet on October 26th.
Right, and as part of the October 26th meeting, the fact finder said we might use opportunities at that meeting for that mediation session that was tentatively scheduled for the 21st. So
No,
that this
I have an email that says we are good for the September meeting and for October 26th. It was sent on September 1st. I have it. I can show it.
That probably was sent in error, or received in error. That date was never confirmed by the board.
Lee, as a neutral in all of these matters, I will kid you not, the first I heard of this was when you reached out to me, and I think I emailed you the next morning. So I never heard of a September 21st date on
Do
September.
you actually want me to share it with everyone? Because I'll share it for everyone to see.
I don't want to get caught up in what was done already. I'm going to tell you I'm not a liar. And the first time I heard of it was when you reached out to me.
Okay,
So, I need to hear it.
I have zero doubt that it is very possible that you were not told about it until then. But I literally have an email on September 1st saying that the dates work.
Okay, again, I'm telling you man to man and on the record with everyone to hear this. I never received a September 1st correspondence.
And I'd like to say, like I was trying to say before, this board has the utmost respect for the faculty of our school system. As an educator myself, I know how hard this negotiations team on the board side is working, but we are not privy to all of the information during negotiations as shown that the PPEA knows step by step. So please know and let everyone know how this Board of Ed respects, and all of us are educators on this board, the teachers more than you know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes, I'd like to speak. I'm Natalie Conoscenti. I teach middle school science at the high school, and I'm trying to make sense of the board meeting virtually as about a dozen adults in a room, yet are sending the teachers back into the buildings. Can you help me understand how this is the plan?
Yeah, so there's not a dozen of us, Natalie. There are actually 6 of us in my office, 2 board members, myself, Ms. Bezewski, Diane Montemuro, and Mr. Choi. The plan is, as we communicated all along, that on October 1st, if health and safety is our priority, like it's been with every decision we've made thus far, that we are in a good place to open our buildings on the 13th of October, we would do so. I understand completely everyone, and to your point, it's everyone is taking this virus differently. I'm not saying those at home are treating it more serious than we are here. But what I can tell you is, again, everyone has and is continuing to deal with this virus in a different manner. Us being here physically and those being at home does not neglect any of their duties, and I appreciate everyone just being a part of this. They are volunteers to our community who may have been exposed, and I appreciate them not being here right now.
Thank you.
Denver Alice, Bloomberg School, I teach 3rd grade. So Dr. Cirillo and the board, I know that you've been doing a lot of work. My question to you, and you know me, I have not asked a question in the 21 years that I have been working in this district. I love working here. And I want to get back in the classroom, but like everyone else, I want to do it safely. But I have questions. How can you, I know there are no guarantees, but how can you guarantee to the best of our abilities, like how are the students storing their materials? I can sanitize a desk, but I can't sanitize their materials. What are we going to do on a rainy day? What's the plan? Like we always bring them in the hallways. There's no room for that. And I know there'll be still less children, but now you're still talking about all those classes on all those floors. We need more. For me personally, after all these years, listen, I'm 21 years older, so I'm a little more susceptible than I was 21 years ago when I started working in Palisades Park, you know? But I just want to make sure that everybody's safe. And how do we know all this? You know, I know that there is communication, but I just feel that we need more communication than October 5th going in with the kids October 13th.
Jen, I can go on record and tell you wholeheartedly, we will not be in on October 5th if we think that there is any concern of any piece. With that being said, as I said all along, the communication piece is ongoing. We are meeting with other districts. I've actually asked other districts if we can actually enter their buildings to see what the next phase looks like. Respectfully, they cannot grant us permission because visitation is not permissible.
Understood.
With that being said, what I can tell you wholeheartedly is, and I firmly believe this as a parent first, our children who we educate in our schools are safest when they are in our schools. Because the truth becomes they will be temperature scanned, they will be closely monitored. The concern I have and has always had is after they are dismissed on the nights and weekends. Where are they and what are they doing? And of course, we have no control 24/7, no surveillance. But that's where we need to continue. And I'm constantly in touch with the health department. We have to be vigilant of our surroundings.
Correct, and I agree with you about the students, but what about the care for the teachers? Because we're the ones who are older and who are going, I'm reading and hearing from all these medical people that, and I don't just read things on the internet. I know people working at Columbia actually doing COVID-19 studies. My neighbor who translated for us, for all my parents, because she was home and she was here doing it and she was working from home, helping us out. And I just, it makes you worry, like how, if I get it, how am I going to be affected? And then I can't see my mother, and then I can't see, I tell my mom, what is it?
And those concerns are all valid, and I don't have the answer nor the magic wand to make those go away. But the reality becomes, and I firmly believe, we have a responsibility, and mine, as part of the Restart Committee, is to ensure that we are taking every precautionary measure. Our buildings are safer now than they've ever been. Everyone has been yelling and screaming for MERV 13. I did not know what that meant 3 months ago.
Nobody.
The reality is, all of our filters, if they have been recommended to have MERV 13, will be sufficient. In addition, the hand sanitizing, the temperature scanning, although none of that is required with the temperature scanning, we're going to take every precautionary measure possible.
Okay.
But again, we don't know that piece, that contact tracing piece, where someone goes at some unforeseen time. How do we know when he or she is going to contract this virus?
Correct. Would you be willing to maybe meet with each building to let us know what's been done? Like if we had like a meeting?
I will get forward in conjunction with your principals and speak to your building specifically. We already have a plan in place for that week.
Great.
We'll all be receiving videos, and parents will be receiving videos of what the classroom looks like, and the proper entry and exit points, and the multiple entrances for student. And again, guys, this is ever changing by the minute. You all know that. We've never dealt with this before. Behind the scenes, everyone is working extremely hard. I will be sure and happy to meet with each individual school, with your principals, and speak virtually unless you want to do it in person. I'm available.
And I appreciate that. It's just, you have been communicating, but I just feel like I don't want too short notice either. I like to know what to expect as much as we can. And I do understand that it changes daily, but, I do appreciate that. So thank you. I just want to feel confident going in, that's all.
I will do the best I can. You got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Audrey DeLosa, Palisades Park High School. Hi, Dr. Cirillo. I have two questions for you. As you talk about preparing the schools, is there plexiglass being put up in front of the teaching stations since all the kids are facing us?
There is not plexiglass being put in front of every teaching station. If and when teachers have requested reasonable accommodations, those accommodations have been and are being considered and granted.
And the other question is, in between classes, how are the rooms being cleaned for the next, and with what type of chemicals are they cleaned?
Yeah, the solution that has been recommended and has been in use every single day, no different than what I spray my own desk with on a daily basis, is a solution that has been deemed to be appropriate by the CDC. The Pro-Quaternary, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm no expert on this one either, but the cleaning of the desk, and again, this is an ongoing issue, can be administered by teachers and or students. The expectation is that we cannot wait for our custodial staff if they are all over the building at all times. We have absolutely no concern. If teachers have a problem with it, I understand completely. Maybe it's not in the job description. But at the end of the day, I never saw it in my job description to spray my desk down, and I do it happily and willingly every single day and night.
So if the student cleans their own station, like in the autumn after they clean up their supplies, they'll clean their own station, which they always did.
Yep.
That bottle gets shared with the next person, because I was under the assumption.
Yeah, like white, it could be a different type of cleaning solution that has been purchased and distributed to your school.
Okay, but they'll have their individual bottle.
With Lysol disinfectants.
Lysol wipes or
Yeah,
something.
wipes. Yes, alcohol wipes.
Okay,
Yep, that now are permitted when they never were in the past.
okay, thank you.
No problem.
Anybody else?
Yes, Dalia Santiago, I'm at the high school. Hello, everybody. I do have a question following Audrey DeRosa. As you know, there are students as well as faculty, like myself, we are allergic to a lot of cleaning detergents. What happens if you have an allergic reaction to one of those detergents or cleaning solutions that is being used or deemed safe?
I will be more than happy to share the materials and solutions we are using. If you may be allergic, we have also purchased gloves. But with that being said, again, I don't expect you to put gloves on and spray your classroom, Dahlia, if you have medical conditions that are underlying. But what I would recommend is if I share this with you personally and your administrators, if there is any concern, please do not come in close contact with this at any time. The Lysol alcohol, excuse me, I keep on saying Lysol, they're alcohol wipes. Those are disinfectants. That's not the same as this solution that has a tablet that dissolves in water. This is a mister. This is no different than a Lysol can would probably perform. And like the Lysol can in your home, it probably speaks to 99.9%, right? No one's ever gonna give you that 100%. Dahlia, I will share with the schools tomorrow morning the solutions that are being utilized.
Okay, thank you, because as it is right now, I'm allergic like to Clorox wipes, to Lysol wipes. So I imagine there's some students that will have that same situation, or whatever solution is being used.
A very good point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jane Martin, you sighed, but you didn't say anything.
I did. I have to talk about toilets. I'm sorry. I apologize. Good evening, everyone. What protocols, Joe, do you have for cleaning the bathrooms? Not only the student bathrooms, but faculty bathrooms? Because over the years, the same mop that's used to mop the floor, that mop's been breezed across the top of a toilet seat at the end of the day. And there's all kinds of findings about problems